Wow, this is quite interesting. I've never seen Nasir El-Rufai putting up such intelligent defense and arguments about the happenings and the current situation in Nigeria as the political tension continues to build up and the coalition seeking for replacement of Ahmed Bola Tinubu comes 2027. It is something interesting that would interest you to listen to the arguments presented by Nasir El-Rufai. One objective, of course, is exposing the criminality or corruption going on in Tinubu's administration, which he considers as unconstitutional spendings and reckless abandonment on the part of the government, who has blamed the previous dispensations and unfortunately could not live up to responsibility. Today, the ball is on his court, but it's not just failing Nigerians, but according to El-Rufai submission, that he is being rejected by Nigerians across different regions and is no longer popular. He's gone, according to his statement. Well, this is quite interesting. The politicking and circumstances surrounding the intriguing moment that's about to unfold will shock everyone who is interested. Let me leave you with this. It's a must watch. Listen.
Bola Tinubu is not his name. Nobody knows his birth date for sure. Nobody knows who his parents are for sure. I know my name, I know my parents, I know my birth date, I know I have classmates, okay, and there are no questions about whether I graduated from Ahmad Bello University or not. Anytime I wake up and I see the Tinubu government inflicting more pain on Nigerians and just bungling governance, the simplest things in governance that I knew when I was DG of BP, these guys can't even get it together. Whenever I see that, I thank God, because I think God saved me. I'm a very lucky person. I think God saved me from the embarrassment of having to explain to be part of this disaster, okay? So I've never thought twice about it. I never sought to be minister. I was minister 20 years before. That's nothing. Tinubu begged me.
And to your credit, okay, you did a superb job as Minister of Abuja.
Thank you very much.
Everybody would agree to that.
Thank you very much, okay? My record is there, all right? So Tinubu begged me publicly. The videos are there to serve in his cabinet. He requested me to change my personal life plans, okay? So those that I say is because he dropped me. How can I be unhappy about something that I never sought, it was actually an imposition on me? I had to change my plans. I had to put my PhD on hold. I had to do many things because of his request. So it has not happened. It has not happened. I'm grateful to God that it has not happened, because I don't have to explain to Nigerians why electricity is this way, the economy is going this way, the exchange rate is going that way, and so on. I don't have to explain that.
Right. But what is your sense of what the wider public mood is? Because, I mean, you've said that, he's treated the Nigerian people very badly, in terms of his policies. I mean, what is your sense of what the wider public mood is? Because it is fair to say that many people may not like Mr. Tinubu, but many of them are undecided and are not necessarily convinced that people like you or Atiku or Obi or Kwankwaso are a better alternative.
Well, we have to ask the people to make up their minds. Do you like what is happening? This is just 2 years, okay? If you're happy with what is happening, if your life has got better since President Tinubu was sworn in on May 29, 2023, fine. But if not, why not give some other people a chance?
Well, the reason I ask that is because, I mean, I'm wondering whether you've carried out any sort of scientific poll to actually determine how popular he is. Because
no,
I remember in 2023.
Yes, we have.
When you were sitting where you're sitting now, and I interviewed you,
yes,
and I quoted the polls to you that suggested that Mr. Tinubu was only marginally popular.
Yes.
And you disputed that.
Yes.
But in the end, he could only manage less than a third of the vote, or around a third.
Yes.
While the two leading opposition candidates got collectively 2/3 of the vote.
True. throughout the polling before the 2023 election, we knew that the election was going to be tight, very tight. But we were ahead. We knew we were going to be tight. We have done some polling, and I have mentioned some time ago that in many parts of the country, particularly in the southeast and the north, President Tinubu has 91% disapproval rating. Even in Lagos, he has 78% disapproval rating. Okay, in some states,
and that's a scientific poll.
It's a scientific poll,
right.
and in some states in the southwest, he's doing a bit better. Ondo Ekiti, he's doing better than 78% disapproval rating, but there is nowhere he's doing better than 50%, even in the southwest. The guy is gone. He's performed miserably. The economy has tanked. The security architecture has failed. There are no clear trade, industrial, and investment policies. Everything is going wrong. They are raising lots of revenues, but we don't know where the revenues are going because there are no results.
But they would make the argument that he's only been in office for 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, is it fair to assess him based on 2 years?
Of course, it is fair to assess him. He has assessed others based on 1 year. He has assessed others in the past. You see, the beauty of the 21st century is there is an audit trail of what you have said or done. When Jonathan was president and Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu tweets then, as far as security is concerned, the buck stops at the president's desk. You bring that out to him and show him when he tries to say, oh, governor, go and fix your security problem. No, the governor cannot fix security problems because defense, police, security is exclusively federal. As governors, we were chief security officers only in name. Okay, so don't outsource security to the states. Fix it. Hire more boots on the ground. Equip them, retool them, and so on. And Charles, for the last 12 months or up to 18 months, every month, 100 billion naira is deducted from the Federation account and sent to the security agencies. Why is there no improvement? In 2024, over 2.2 million Nigerians were abducted. 615,000 were killed. Is Nigeria at war? These numbers are worse than the 8 years of Buhari. In 1 year. This is data from Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. So it's government data. I'm not quoting something out of the air. So for that 100 billion that goes out every month from Federation account, without appropriation by the National Assembly, by the way, without appropriation by the state assemblies, because part of the money belongs to the states. So each state assembly is supposed to appropriate that part. So the entire deduction and expenditure is unconstitutional. It's an impeachable offense. But it has been going on for more than 15 months from the last time I checked. So where has that 1.5 trillion gone? What is it being used for? Why is the security situation just getting worse? Why is the government asking communities to protect themselves?
You can see that you can now understand that Nasser El-Rufai, to some greater extent, is right. The ball stops on the table of the president. El-Rufai reveals that over 100 billion is being set aside and shared among the security chiefs, and yet nothing to show forth, nothing tangible in terms of addressing the spikes of insecurity that is realistic. Now, how much has been expended when you vote out 100 billion given to the security parastatals and yet nothing is happening? Now, you begin to ask, what exactly is the problem? What exactly is the problem? If such amount could be voted in the fight against insurgency every month, that is not being appropriated by the state and the State Assembly and National Assembly, exactly what else is happening? You could see that some persons consider this state of insecurity as an ATM machine, as an oil money. That is a free money to be shared on a monthly basis. And when you talk about ridding off the society, the country of this insurgency. Some persons might be definitely be playing the ostrich and hide and seek game because they knew what it stands, just as the DSS reveals that every time Mazen Nandukan is taken to the court, they spend not less than 500 million naira every day. You know what that means? Insecurity details and the rest of them. So some persons consider that as an avenue of enriching themselves because it's a free money and you don't understand what that means. Billions being credited to people's accounts for not doing anything or possibly convincingly that could be acceptable by the people. So Rufai is putting up strong opposition, strong, formidable opposition against Ahmed Bola Tinubu. And as he have said, that he's gone, that he has no basis to withstand the coalitions or the oppositions, that he was one of those who masterminded his victory, orchestrated his victory, but now the North, most especially the Fulanis, have ruled out the possibility of Ahmed Bola Tinubu returning back to that Oval Office come 2027, because definitely they are going to show him the exit door. He should be winding up and getting his luggages ready to be evacuated, because that seat is not for him. The Nigerians have rejected him and possibly is no longer popular. Well, that is quite interesting, as this political campaigns and propagandas is being sustained ahead of 2027. All this build-up, Tinubu is just about 2 years in office, and people are expecting him to do otherwise, possibly swing the magic wand. But then Rufai cited that Tinubu has adjudged a dispensation for just 1 year. He, of course, he criticized Jonathan over insecurity, that the ball lies on the court of the president's table. Now he is trapped, caught in the same web, and could not do anything, or possibly his best has not been very good to address the issue of insecurity, hunger, starvation, ravaging the country. Somebody might say, well, Rufai was part of the Buhari's government, but then Nigerians are saying that the Buhari's 8 years wasn't as bad as the 2 years of Tinubu. Well, that could be very subjective to endless argument, but then the realities are staring at us. Indeed, the level of escalation of killings, invasion by the terrorists across the regions of this country, and more importantly, hunger. Nigerians are finding it extremely difficult. So many households are finding it difficult to survive. So you may not have to blame Rufai for being objective in his arguments, in as much as he's a controversial personality, and there are certain issues that is not clear about his person, as people perceive him to be a tribal bigot, of course, protecting and projecting the interests of the Fulanis above national interests. Just citing when he was the executive governor of Kaduna State, what played out, there are several massacre killings in southern Kaduna, which sadly majority of them were not brought to justice. He certainly often covers up for the Fulanis, and people are seeing him in that light, that, well, whatever excuse or positions, arguments he might be engaged in to discredit the position of Ahmed Bola Tinubu, then he sold out that Muslim tickets to Nigerians, believing that it's based on capacity and of course track records of excellence and leadership. That was what Rufai told Nigerians. But today he is making a U-turn again. Just that is the state of average Nigerian politicians. When their interest is not protected, they will go all out to ensure they discredit, they pull down whatever they think they have built just to protect their interests. Of course, the masses understood that these are mainly interests hunting for their political and selfish interest. That is just the case. If you tell Rufai why was he not able to address the state of insecurity in southern Kaduna, being a presiding executive governor of 8 years, you may not, of course, give reasons for that, or citing that the security apparatus are exclusive, of course, right of the federal government. He might be right to some extent, but then, whatever be the case, it's an interesting moment to watch as we continue to see the build up towards 2027. Some persons have argued that 2027 might not likely be feasible, just as Tinubu have said there is no vacancy in Aso Rock. Well, that is based on his personal opinion. Of course, over 200 million Nigerians has the right to decide who becomes or preside over the affairs of their destiny and take decisions of policy that could directly or indirectly affect them. Well, the masses have the voice and the mandate to choose otherwise. As I have said, he has lost relevance. He's no longer popular with the current economic mishap and resentments across the regions of this country. Well, it is an interesting moment to watch. Let me have your own take regarding this development and what you think could be the way forward. Could Tinubu surmount these hurdles, of course, ahead of 2027? Well, could that be a winding up for him? Well, only time will tell. Let's have your own take regarding this. There are several sentiments being whipped across ethnic, tribal, religious, and otherwise. But then, what should be prioritized is how better Nigeria fared under Tinubu, comparing that of Buhari. Of course, I could recall with 30,000 you can buy a bag of rice, but that was not the case. Just in less than 2 years of Ahmed Bola Tinubu, things had become very exacerbating and very disturbing and worrisome on this inflation, and the rest of them is hitting hard on Nigerians. Perhaps the oppositions are well strategic and calculated in their campaigns and propaganda against Tinubu because they have the facts and figures, and possibly the economic woes could be an advantage for them to use against Tinubu. Whatever be the case, this insecurity continue to build up. Well, possibly Tinubu may have a surprise to spring, of course, due to possibly dislodge or gain the sympathy of Nigerians. Well, only time will tell. As this continue to build up, possibly Tinubu's camp might be strategizing and exploring every other means possible to return Tinubu there. Whatever happens, well, I hope there will be a fair playing ground for all Sunday to throw their weight and test their popularity and acceptance by the people. Well, if that is done, possibly the people could accept the outcome of that result. Some people have said, the likes of Atiku, Obi, and the rest of them, that they are not going to accept any form of manipulations and rigging in this comes 2027. It is possibly a do or die affair. Well, I hope that will not degenerate to what is much anticipated or projected to happen. I mean, the disintegration of Nigeria possibly might become a reality comes 2027. Tinubu definitely, paradoxically, might become the last president of Nigeria. Well, whatever happens, we're in for this exciting and intriguing moment. Always keeping it real has been a commitment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Turn on the notification buttons so that you can get our videos once ever it's been uploaded or whenever we're live. Thanks for watching. Do have a good day. Bye for now.